My mother told me to pick the very best one, and you are... Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Chris with Marksman Shooting Sports in Westfield, Indiana, and you are watching Marksman TV. Today we have another comparison for you. We will be comparing the Ruger LC9S, the Springfield XDS, and the Smith & Wesson Shield. All three of these are 9mm. I do not have the Glock 43 here today. As I mentioned when we started doing these videos, I really like to use this to answer a lot of the questions I get. I don't get a lot of questions about the Glock 43. It seems to me that these three are the ones that people are the most interested in, and therefore the ones that get asked about the most, hence this video. We'll go ahead and jump into this. We'll start off with an unboxing and then a general step-by-step comparison. If you've seen our other videos, you know the drill. Let's get started. Alright, starting here with the Ruger LC9S, we do have a nice standard Ruger cardboard box, so go ahead and open. We have our instruction and warranty information right here. Gun safety lock. We have a little orange dummy magazine, I guess, for practicing reloads. And a flat base plate for your magazine if you want to switch that out. And here we do have the handgun and a plastic sleeve. Go ahead and remove that. Here's the pistol. It does have a clear chamber flag. We'll go ahead and pull the slide to the rear and remove that. And that's basically it. Moving into the Smith & Wesson Shield, we do have a cardboard box again. We'll go ahead and open this up. Inside we will find this plastic blue sleeve with the shield in it. We'll go ahead and pull that to the rear and remove the chamber flag. We will find a 8-round magazine inserted in the pistol, as well as a spare flush-mounted magazine, 7 rounds. We will find our gun safety lock and instruction and warranty information here. Moving on to the Springfield XDS, we do have a really nice hard case here with 2 latches on it. We'll go ahead and open. Inside we will find our extended 8-round magazine, as well as our flush 7-round magazine. These little foam panels are removable, and that's how they actually include these cases with their other larger frame handguns. Go ahead and remove the pistol here. We'll pull this to the rear and remove the chamber flag. Inside we also will find a different size sleeve for the magazine, as well as a back strap. That is if you want to change the size out. On the extended magazine, you can replace that with this one. And then on the back, of course, you will have to replace the back strap with this back strap so that that meets up with the new magazine sleeve. We also do have a gun safety lock here, a test sample of some lubricant oils, a replacement red, or you do have a green fiber optic to replace inside the front sight, and of course a cleaning brush. All of your warranty information is stored away back here inside the back panel of the hard case. Moving on with the technical length and weight of each of these pistols, starting up here with the Shield, it does weigh in at 20.8 ounces and has an overall length of 6.1 inches. Down into the Ruger LC9S, it does come in at a weight of 17.2 ounces with an overall length of 6 inches. The XDS does have an overall weight of 23 ounces and an overall length of 6.3 inches. If you're interested in other calibers and options for these pistols, the XDS does come in 9, 40, and 45. This is a 3.3 inch barrel version. It also comes in the 4-inch version. You can also purchase this in a flat dark earth, a bitone with a stainless slide, or with the new combat gray. The Ruger LC9S also comes in a Pro model, which we have here. The Pro model is different from the standard LC9S in that it does not come with a couple of the safety features that you do get on the LC9S. It does not come with a magazine disconnect, and it does not have a manual safety. It does still, however, have the trigger safety, and it does have the loaded chamber indicator port located on the top of the barrel. The LC9S is also only offered a 9mm, hence the name LC9S. The LC9S differs from the original LC9 as it is striker fired. The original LC9 was hammer fired and had a much heavier and creepier trigger to it, which was the main complaint most people had with the pistol, which is why Ruger released the LC9S for striker fired, giving it a really nice, cleaner, smoother trigger in action. The Smith & Wesson Shield also comes in 40 and 45. The 45 is, however, a little bit larger of a frame. This particular model does come equipped with a thumb safety here. You can also get this exact same model without the thumb safety, which is identical in every way to this pistol, except it will not have this thumb safety here. They have also just released the new Performance Center Shield, which is new to the market. I don't have one here to show you, but I'll roll in a picture for you. Moving on to the slide construction of the three pistols, we will go ahead and start down here with the XDS. The slide is a forged steel with a melanite finish. Melanite is essentially a form of case hardening, really nice, durable finish. You do find nice positive slide serrations here in the rear. You will also find a loaded chamber indicator here at the top. If we pull this to the rear, I can show you, I can pull up on that, which is an indicator that you do have a round in the chamber, which will of course protrude upwards once there's a chambered round. The shield is a stainless steel slide which uses Smith & Wesson's Armonite finish. Armonite is basically, it is a melanite finish, which is a form of case hardening similar to the XDS. Really, really good, very durable finish. You do have a fish scaling type of slide serration here. Also on the top, you will find a loaded chamber indicator, which is a port machined into the top of the slide and the barrel, which you will be able to see your brass through once there is a round chamber. The Ruger uses a through hardened alloy steel, and it is a standard bluing process. Out of my research, I have found that the finish processing on the LC9S is a little bit less favorable than the melanite type finishing on the other two. It is less impervious to wear resistance, and it will start showing wear as it goes in and out of your holster, especially if you're using a Kydex or any other type of polymer holster. It does also have very nice slide serrations, and there is a loaded chamber indicator like we saw on the Shield machined into the top of the barrel. Moving into the trigger, the XDS does have a very nice double action only trigger with a trigger safety here. The trigger safety will have to be coupled with its pull of the grip safety back here, so both of these will have to be pulled simultaneously for the pistol to fire. The trigger pull on the XDS is about 7 pounds. The Shield utilizes a trigger safety feature as well, but it is more of a hinge, which you see hinging on this point in the center of the trigger. I must push on that hinge in order to actuate the trigger and allow it to fire. The trigger pull weight on the Shield rates in at about 6.5 to 7 pounds. The Ruger LC9S also utilizes a trigger safety lever here, similar to what we saw on the XDS. This lever does need to be depressed for the trigger to be able to be pulled. The LC9S out of the three rates in at the best weight out of the box at 5.5 pounds. Now moving on to the sights. The sights on the Shield does utilize a dovetailed rear drift adjustable sight, as well as a dovetailed drift adjustable front post. It does utilize a 3-dot sighting system. The Ruger LC9S also utilizes a 3-dot system with a dovetailed rear sight and a dovetailed front post. The rear sight is drift adjustable. The XDS does come with a dovetailed front sight and rear sight, which is drift adjustable. The sight bases are actually made from steel, so they are quite a bit more durable than the others. Also, the XDS does come with a front high-vis fiber optic sight, which is an excellent upgrade, giving you that higher bit of visibility on the front sight post. The XDS magazine release is a very nice positive push button located just rear of the trigger guard, and it is ambidextrous, so it can be actuated from either side by pressing of the magazine release button here. It is a very, very positive, nice spring tension, and it is a spring assisted magazine release, so the spring will push the magazine out for a manual ejection for a quicker reload. The Ruger LC9S uses a single position magazine release button, which does have nice serrations on it. It is not ambidextrous and cannot be reversed to the other side. The magazine release button itself is very nice spring tension, and by pushing on it, it actually has a spring-assisted magazine ejection. The Shield also utilizes a button magazine release located for right-hand shooters on this particular model. It is not ambidextrous, therefore it cannot be switched to the other side. It does have a very nice large magazine release button, which is larger than the other two with positive spring tension. When I push on the release, the magazine is spring assisted as it ejects. As we looked at in the unboxing portion, each one of these does come with different magazine options. The XDS does come with an extended and a flush mounting magazine, as well as the Shield as well. The Ruger does only come with one magazine, but it does have that pinky extension on it, as well as that flat floor plate if you want to switch that out to give you more of a flush contour here. In these cases, the extra magazine will give you an extra round, so 8 rounds in the magazine here and 8 rounds in the magazine here. If we drop down to the shorter magazines, we do lose 1 round, but we do gain a little bit of concealability. For example, in the XDS, the overall height with the extended magazine inserted is 5 inches. If I do take this out in place of the flush mounted magazine, I've now reduced my height of the pistol to 4 3/8 inches. Same here on the Shield. If I leave this extended magazine in, I do have a height of 5 inches on the pistol. If I replace that for the flush magazine, I do have an overall height of 4 inches, which is just a little bit shorter than the XDS. The Ruger LC9S, I don't lose or gain any capacity by switching out that floor plate. They do make magazines that are a little bit extended. I don't have one of those with me. But if we do leave that magazine extension on there, we do have an overall height of 5 inches, just like the other two. But if I remove that in place of the flush mounted magazine, then I do drop my height of the LC9S down to 4 3/8 inches, same as the XDS. Now I'm quickly going to go over disassembly so you can see how they all differ from one another. Starting with the XDS, I'm going to go ahead and pull my slide to the rear, locking it open, and inspect that we are clear. I'll go ahead and remove my magazine. Flipping over to the side, we do see a takedown lever, which is the system this system utilizes. We'll go ahead and push that up towards the top. Drop my slide very carefully, let it meet flush with the rear of the frame. Go ahead and pull the trigger and remove the 2 sections. We'll find my recoil spring here and my barrel, which I will remove. And then the XDS is field stripped. Moving on to the Shield, I will go ahead and open the slide and check that I am clear, and I am. I'll go ahead and remove the magazine. This also uses a takedown lever, which I will go ahead and push downward. Go ahead and release and pull the trigger to separate the 2 halves, just like on the XDS. I'll go ahead and remove my recoil spring and my barrel from the slide. And there is my Shield field strip. Disassembly on the Ruger LC9S, you will need some sort of a tool. I just use a paper clip. Any sort of small punch will do. We'll go ahead and open to the rear and make sure we are clear. I'll go ahead and remove my magazine and go ahead and close. On this side, we will find a lever which we will clip down to the bottom, making clearance for the cross pin, which we will need to drift out. I will then pull the slide slightly to the rear, joining this cross cutout section on the slide with the open end on the frame, allowing clearance for that cross pin to come out. It's kind of tough to do backwards. I'm actually going to face me here. With that clearance provided, I'll go ahead and push that cross pin out from the opposite side. Go ahead and grab it and pull it, and then release the 2 sections. Once removed, I can go ahead and pull that recoil spring out and go ahead and take out my barrel. And then there is the disassembly of the Ruger LC9S. A little bit more complicated than the other two, but still not that big of a challenge. Moving on to the frames, the Ruger does have a polymer or nylon frame, which does have a steel rail system and is glass bedded. The XDS is a polymer frame and it does use steel guide rods here, as well as internal steel support on the internal structures. The Shield is also a polymer frame and does have an embedded stainless steel chassis system. Out of the 3, I would probably say the Shield or the XDS would probably be a little bit more durable. Finishing up with the barrels here at the top we'll start with the XDS. This is a 3.3 inch barrel. Remember, you can also get this in a 4 inch. This is a cold hammer forged steel barrel, and it is melanite treated, and it does have very nice polished feed ramp. The Shield is a 3.1 inch stainless steel barrel, and it does utilize the Armonite, which is a melanite treated barrel. It also does have very nice polishing here on the feed ramp. The Ruger LC9S is a 3.12 inch barrel, and it is a blued alloy steel. It does keep a very thin profile with nice barrel beveling here, as well as nice machine cuts into the top of the barrel, which does help to keep the overall weight of the pistol down a little bit. Well, that's all the time we have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those down in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like this, please consider hitting that like button or subscribing to our channel. We would really appreciate it. Again, this is Chris with Marksman Shooting Sports in Westfield, Indiana. You are watching Marksman TV, and we will see you next time.